Welcome to UPLEVEL, Real Health, Real Talk with Dr. Jenna Blasi. I'm Dr. Jenna. I spent years crafting ways to help women thrive, and I want to help you do the same. On this podcast, we dive deep into health at every level, focusing on the mind, the body, and the spirit. This is where real conversations meet transformational wellness. We'll be talking about all the things that truly matter, from nutrition and fitness to lifestyle, mindset, and personal development. Plus, the real deal on managing stress and navigating menopause. So if you're ready to elevate your health journey with authentic, transformative insights, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to UPLEVEL. I am Dr. Jenna, and today I want to talk about goals. Now, goals can be a huge topic, and there are a lot of different ways that we can dive into it, but I want to discuss today goals as identity. Ideally, we're doing stretch goals, bigger versions of ourselves, bigger versions of our lives, but it's really about that identity stretch. It's not about the hustle. It's not about the grind. Goals are not about what we get. We often think that the goal is the money, the body, the car, the et cetera, but they're really about who you become to be able to achieve that goal and be able to maintain that goal. So as we, approach the end of January, getting into February, people are starting to abandon their New Year's resolutions or their New Year goals, or they're forcing themselves to stick to something that is not feeling that good. It's already feeling a little bit heavy. And this is really not about discipline. We think that it is. We think it's about willpower and discipline. It's usually because we're using our goals in the wrong way. So what I want to focus on in today's episode is a different relationship with goals or goal. One that doesn't require hustle, self-betrayal, pressure, but alignment, right? And it requires honesty, it requires courage, and it requires expansion. And this is where goals also stop being about proving something. Hopefully the things that we set, the goals that we set, the desires we have are about us, right? We can't keep living out other people's dreams, other people's expectations. So creating goals that are in alignment, not about the outside world, proving ourselves to anyone, but setting a container for who you're becoming. Most people believe that goals are here to, make us successful, make us feel accomplished, fix something that feels lacking. But the truth is, as I said just a few minutes ago, goals are not about giving you something. They exist to pull something out of you. All right. The soul wants expansion. On a deep level, even in nature, we always want to be better, right? Be a better mom, a better partner or dad, a better partner. If you jump, can you jump a little higher? When you lift, can you lift a little heavier? And so when we set a goal, it's really about who we are becoming to achieve that goal. So a meaningful goal is going to require a new self-concept, a new self-image, a higher tolerance for discomfort, because if it's comfortable, it's probably something you've done before. That's not really a goal. And our nervous system, or a nervous system that can hold more. Because it's not about frying out your nervous system to achieve something. But if the goal doesn't stretch your identity, it's not really a goal. It's more of a preference, if you will. So when we look at a lot of people's goals, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to make X amount of dollars. I want to feel confident. What's missing in this type of a goal, or what is an underlying piece of the goal, is the identity. The identity that both created the current reality and the identity that's required to get you to that next level. So there's levels of awareness. They often say, or you've heard say, like, the quickest way to waste $1 million is to give it to someone who's never had it, right? So there's all these people playing the lottery who maybe they want to win $1 million, and And then those people that do, often when they're checked back in with, they have no more money. Why? Because they never created the identity, worked through their money stories, their money issues, etc., their guilt of having money, whatever it is. They never worked through the identity and self-image to hold, to be the person who has $1 million. So if you set a goal, but your nervous system still equates success with pressure, or your identity is still anchored to overfunctioning or self-sacrifice or self-worth issues that say you're not worthy of, $1 million or a fit body, and your safety is tied to playing small or being agreeable or people-pleasing, your system is going to resist the goal. Your subconscious is going to go with what is really underneath it all, even if you want it. We don't get what we want, we get who we are. Just like they say, you are what you eat. Your life is who you are. It's not about your genetics. It's not about your family. It's not about what everybody has done before you or what you've done before. It is about what you believe is possible and the identity. Are you matching it to that goal, or is it keeping you where you are? Which is why people sabotage, they stall, they quietly quit. It's not laziness. It's protection. The subconscious wants to keep us safe, and safe is the known, even if it feels like crap. Safe is the known. You've got to step into the unknown. The people that choose in, like the people that we work with in our programs, in our journeys, they don't choose it because it's comfortable, right? It's not easy to make the decision to invest in yourself and to make changes and to shed old ways and old identities, but they want something more. They crave something more. And so we've got to bring the identity with that, or any success won't last. So let's talk about the nervous system side of like resisting goals. I see this a lot, especially in entrepreneurs. This is especially important for women. Many women are conditioned to be liked over just being themselves, being authentic, expressing themselves fully. They're conditioned to be safe over being visible, and being helpful over being powerful. Right? A lot of people are threatened by powerful women. So we downplay, we play small, we choose to just be helpful, not ruffle any feathers. But your goal, a big goal, or when your goal is something that requires visibility or leadership or capacity, saying no, receiving more, then the nervous system is going to see this as a threat, not an opportunity. And this is where we start settling. This is where we start dropping our goals, down goaling. We can't even get to the point of like, where's the identity of this person? No, that's not me. That's not me. Let me settle. Let me bring it down. That feels safer. I hope you stop doing this. I hope you stop doing this, because down goaling, I wish I had a better term, down goaling. There's also something in my eye. So those of you watching on YouTube are seeing me kind of like, what's the word? Flinch? That's what I'm looking for. Flinch. Filch. Filch is a character in Harry Potter. Flinch a little bit. Anyway, down goaling looks like choosing a goal you know you can achieve. That's not a goal. Staying just under your real desire, just a little safer, a little bit less, not going to add that little extra. Picking comfort over expansion, and we love to call it realistic. Realistic. I'm going to be realistic. I have to be logical. I have to be rational. I remember I used to hear Bob Proctor. He would say, rationalizing is rationing lies to yourself. So realistic, that doesn't mean aligned. It's often just what's familiar. Now, I do want to address briefly this idea of SMART goals versus stretch goals. Because the truth is, your next level doesn't lie in familiarity. Your next level doesn't lie in realistic. So we set these SMART goals. And from a mindset perspective, they're very, very limiting. What is realistic? What is achievable? But so many of us, we want that like instant gratification. So the SMART goals keep us from giving up and getting discouraged and feeling like it's out there, because we have to bring the goal in. Be the person now. Do the actions of somebody that already has that thing, and then you have it, right? Be, do, have. A lot of people think I'm going to have the thing and then I will do this and I will be this way, but that's not how it works. because the identity comes first. You have to be, then you do, you take those uncomfortable stretch action steps, and then you have. But you bring that to you now. So a SMART goal, I don't even really want to go on a tangent for SMART goals. If you're really looking to achieve something big in your life, it's not about that, realistic and achievable right now. We've got to believe that something bigger and better is possible, but it's retraining your mind. If you're going to get discouraged because you've set an income goal that maybe you don't actually achieve for a year or 2 years or more, if it's a really good stretch goal, but you're just working towards it and it's here and you don't know the germination period of this desire, but it's coming, then the SMART goal, you don't need the quote unquote SMART goals. You just break it down and you keep taking steps towards it. But again, that's not what I want to go into detail about today, because I could probably do a whole podcast on just that idea. I want to stick with the identity. All right. Because we should be stretching our identity, because if we don't, on a subconscious level, we're going to believe we're not capable of something more than what we've already achieved. All right. So this is not about, a stretch goal is not about force and pressure. It's not about ignoring, maybe the season that you're in or what your current capacity is in. It's not about disconnecting you from your body. All right. It's about looking at, does this goal require me to become more, not less? As Bob Proctor used to say, it's not a question of, am I worthy of the goal, but is the goal worthy of me, of what you are really capable of as a true spiritual being. So I want to invite you to pause or to journal and get really clear on, what is one meaningful goal? What is one meaningful goal that you will set a date to for the, December 31st, end of the year? Not 10 goals, one. And a goal that matters emotionally, that scares you just enough, but that you feel alive when you think about having it. So what happens is we have this goal, we feel it, it's planted by spirit in our heart, and then our mind is like, well, you can't do that, or you shouldn't want that, or whatever it is, or you can't be that person, I don't see you as that person. And then we downplay, we down goal. We go, yeah, forget it. That's crazy. I feel stressed just thinking about that, because it's not possible to do without grind, without pressure, without sacrificing my family, without whatever. I think I have a whole episode on sacrifice, right? It's not about what you're giving up. It's giving up something of a lesser nature for something of a greater nature. So when you look at a goal, and you can journal this for, take a week where it's like, what do I really want? And just brainstorm and see what comes up. And then of that list, what do you want the most? And a lot of times all of those little wants are stepping stones to a bigger encompassing at peace, that then when you have the career that you want, or the financial, or those other pieces, all the car or the clothes or whatever fit into that. Right? Like you wouldn't have the goal of like, I want to have this outfit. It's like, who do you have to become to be fit and healthy, to feel good in those clothes and be able to wear it? I'm using weird examples, but this is what's coming to my mind. So choose a goal that really matters, that scares you, that you're uncomfortable with, but that you want, that you feel alive in your body when you think about it. And as I said, we could do a whole podcast on exploring how to achieve those goals, but there's a lot of that out there. So if you need extra assistance with that, and I think I might have, that might have been for my members. I was thinking I did a podcast just on like how to determine the best goal for you. But I think that was actually a member class. But anyway, there's a lot of that out there, but I want to approach the identity piece. Okay. Ask yourself, what is the one identity that this requires? Now you can elaborate and be more detailed, but what is like the big self-image, the big identity piece that is required for that goal. Like if this goal were already true, it's already here. The fact that you want it, like you're seeking it, it is seeking you. Like I said, that those desires that we suppress, that we dismiss as being silly, are planted there by spirit in a relaxed moment. You're walking in nature, you get a download, and you're like, oh my gosh. And so we honor that that's possible, that that goal is seeking you. So if this were already true, who would I have to be? What is the identity? Every now I figured I should look at my camera because sometimes I cut my head off. And now I see the light is kind of doing some weird things. All right, realigning here. Examples. Do you have to be more boundaried? Do you have to be more visible? You have to be more courageous, bold, more self-trusting, less available for old patterns. And then the third piece. So again, I'm kind of breaking this into a simple framework. One meaningful goal, you're going to put it on a goal card. You're going to carry that goal card around with you. You're going to put it in present tense. I'm so happy and grateful now that. You're going to put a date. Don't worry about the date. It just gives the mind focus. It gives you a place to start from where then you break that down. Okay, how do I break that down quarterly and then monthly and then weekly and then daily? But if the date comes, you might get it earlier. It's like some of the goals I've set, I've achieved earlier and some have taken longer. It's just direction. So put that date down and then, carry that around with you. Say it every day, affirm it in the mirror, write it out. Number 2, what is the identity that requires? On my goal cards, I often put my goal on the front and then my self-image on the back of it. I am so happy and grateful now that I am calm and confident and focused. But I'm saying like, what is one identity it requires? Because I want you to really lean into, is it leadership? Is it like, what is the big piece, the big identity? But then again, you can elaborate on that. But who do you have to be to achieve that? And then number 3, what is the belief to release? We talked in the previous podcasts about releasing. Every goal threatens an old belief, an old paradigm, an old programming, old habits. So if I slow, like for example, you might think if I slow down, I'll fall behind, right? This idea of not honoring rest, like you're going after a goal, but that doesn't mean you don't honor rest days. That doesn't mean you don't have free time in your schedule, that you don't take vacations. So if you have an old paradigm, like I have to go, or I'm going to fall behind, you have to release that. If I take up space, I'll disappoint people, right? That people pleaser, that fear of being visible, or that you're not worthy, maybe. An old belief, I have to earn, whatever, I'm not worthy of this bigger picture. This is where the real work lies. All right. This identity work and this releasing is where the real work lies. So dig in, go deep. We cannot outperform our self-image or our belief system. So you can have the loftiest goal, but if you don't change your belief system, if you don't change your identity, even if you achieve it, which is debatable if you can even achieve it, it won't stay. And this is that thermostat idea. We have a financial thermostat. We have a weight thermostat, and we're constantly adjusting to that thermostat. So we want to increase our thermostat. It's like people have a financial thermostat. So then maybe they have like a really good month. You get a lot of bonuses, or if you're in sales, maybe you make a lot of sales and then you suddenly have less the next month, so that by the end of the year, you've kind of evened yourself out. That's your thermostat. That's your set point. So how do you upgrade that? How do you up-level that? How do you change that? And that's what this identity piece is focused on. People are like this with their weight. They release a bunch of weight, but in their minds, they're still fat, or in their minds, they're still not worthy, or they're that, someone told them they were chubby when they were 6. And so they still identify with that. So then the thermostat self-corrects, right? We're cybernetic. I was thinking of psycho-cybernetics. We're psychos. We're cybernetic instruments, our brains. And so just like a plane that is on its way to Hawaii and it hits turbulence and it goes off course, it course corrects to the original coordinates. Those coordinates are your identity, your image. We have to upgrade that and release old beliefs and focus on that identity piece, and that is when everything can change. That's absolutely when everything can change. So I really want you to anchor this in and then get momentum on it rather than losing momentum as we get away from this like new year, new you crap and the resolutions and this year's going to be different. And then, you lose momentum. Let's actually anchor this in and bring in momentum now. Goals don't fail just because you lack willpower, you lack discipline. You're inconsistent because of the self-identity. You haven't identified with the person that's consistent, this is who they are. All right. So you're failing a goal. I don't really like the word fail, but because you're disconnected from the identity of that. And the only failure is quitting. Right. So we don't know how long it's going to take. In my mind, the only failure is quitting. So we just got to get back up. Who cares if it doesn't come when we think it's going to come? Get back up, keep at it. And it's easy to keep at it when things are going our way. But to be able to believe and have that faith and that expectation and that identity when things are not, that is also the real work. So when you let your goals shape who you are becoming, then it's not about chasing something out there. And that feels like when we're chasing, first of all, we're pushing it further away, force negates, and that feels heavy. You're bringing it to you because you're becoming. And so this week, I want you to ask, who is this goal inviting me to become? And am I willing to meet her? Am I willing to be her? Not how do I force myself to follow through? How do yeah, sometimes we got to get up and like do the thing. But if you're in the spirit of the goal, then it's not heavy. Consistency is sometimes pushing ourselves to do what we don't want to do. But when we do it in the wrong spirit with the wrong perspective, coming from the wrong place, it's heavy, it's grindy, it's hustle. When we stay in the spirit, inspired, right? When we're inspired, it doesn't feel heavy. In the spirit of the goal, in the spirit of who you're becoming, then it's light, then it's exciting, and this is momentum. Keep tapping into that you're excited and you stay in the spirit of it. Who is this goal inviting me to become? Oh my gosh, she's amazing. So excited. Bring her here. You are that already. I am. So, all right. Again, keeping it a little shorter and sweeter because I don't want you to get bogged down in the mental aspect of this. I want you to get in the spirit of it and the joy of it, because if you go through this process, this is when things start to change. All right. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you're loving this episode or this podcast, please leave us a review, 5-star, share it with a friend, subscribe so you don't miss, and let us know. Contact us on social media, email us, let us know what's working for you, what you want to hear, if you have any questions. And I'm just so grateful for you all here. I hope you found this super impactful, and I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you for joining me on this episode of UPLEVEL, Real Health, Real Talk. I hope today's conversation inspired you to take the next step in your health journey, one that nourishes not just your body, but your mind and spirit as well. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you found value in today's episode, please leave a review. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep thriving. And remember, true wellness is a journey, and you are on the right path.